I need to talk about something that happened today, and honestly, I'm still pretty shaken up. It's one of those things you see in movies or hear about happening to other people, but you never think it'll happen to you, right in your own home where you're supposed to feel safe. My heart is still pounding just thinking about it. It all started this afternoon. I was just at home minding my own business when I heard a knock on my front door. It wasn't a normal knock, though. It was loud, persistent, almost demanding. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I was immediately on alert. I went to my peephole to see who it was, and I saw a man I kind of recognized from a few houses up the street. I say recognized, but we've never spoken. Not once. I've just seen him around, that's it. So it was already weird that he was at my door. I decided not to answer. My gut was telling me something was off. But he didn't leave. He kept knocking, getting more and more aggressive. And then, my heart just dropped into my stomach. I watched through the peephole as he grabbed my doorknob and tried to open my front door. He jiggled it, pushed against the door, actually trying to get in. I was frozen for a second, just in complete shock. Who does that? You don't just try to open someone's door. After a moment, he did it again. He tried the handle a second time. That's when my shock turned into a mix of anger and pure fear. I yelled through the door, my voice shaking, "What are you doing? Stop trying to open my door and leave!" I thought that would be enough to scare him off, to make him realize he'd crossed a major line. But his reaction was what made this whole thing go from weird to downright terrifying. He didn't look startled or apologetic. He just shrugged, completely casual, and said, "A neighbor can't come say hi." His tone was so dismissive, so nonchalant, like I was the one who was overreacting. I was stunned. Saying hi doesn't involve trying to force your way into someone's house. I told him again to leave, and his response was even creepier. He looked at my house, then back at the door, and said with this smug little smirk, "You don't get out much, do you?" It felt like a jab, a way to belittle me, to make me feel small and isolated. It was such a strange and unsettling thing to say. It felt like he was testing me, sizing me up, and I had no idea why. At that point, I had enough. I yelled, "If you don't leave my property right now, I'm calling the police." That was the only thing that seemed to get through to him. He finally backed away from my door, gave one last look at my house, and took off down the street. I watched him until he was out of sight, and then I just stood there, leaning against my door, trying to get my breathing back to normal. My sense of security was just gone, shattered. In just a few minutes, this man had made me feel like a prisoner in my own home. I started calling and texting my other neighbors to warn them, to ask if they'd seen him. And that's when I found out more. Apparently, before he came to my house, he had been knocking on other doors in the neighborhood. The story he was giving them was that he was looking for a babysitter. But why would you try to open someone's door if you're just looking for a babysitter? None of it added up. And then, things got even worse. As if the encounter itself wasn't terrifying enough, I learned something else that made my blood run cold. Earlier this evening, just a few hours before he showed up at my door, a house just up the street from me was broken into. Someone broke in by kicking in their ground-level air conditioning unit to get inside. My own AC unit is on the ground level, too, on the side of my house, and now my mind is racing. Is this man connected to the break-in? Was he canvassing the neighborhood, checking who was home, looking for easy targets? Was he trying my door to see if it was unlocked, to see if he could just walk right in? The timing is just too much of a coincidence. I don't know this man. I don't know his name. I don't know what he's capable of. And I have no idea if he's going to come back. The thought that he lives just a few houses away is horrifying. I have to see him, to walk or drive past his house. The peace and comfort I used to feel in my own neighborhood have been completely wiped away. The first thing I did was order Ring cameras. I had them delivered the next day and installed them immediately. One for the front door, one for the back. Now I can see who's there, and I have a recording of everything. It's a small step, but it gives me a tiny bit of control back. I also went around and double-checked every single lock on every window and door. I even bought a couple of those security bars to wedge under the doorknobs at night. But even with these new security measures, I still feel incredibly uneasy. Every little noise outside makes me jump. A car door closing, leaves rustling, a branch tapping on the window. It all puts me on edge. I find myself compulsively checking the Ring camera feed on my phone. It's exhausting to live with this level of constant anxiety. It's just so shocking how one person's actions can completely disrupt your life and destroy your sense of safety. This is my home. This is my sanctuary. And now, it feels tainted by this experience. It makes you question everything. Who can you trust? How safe are you, really? It's a horrible feeling, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So, I'm sharing this story for two reasons. First, as a warning. Please, be aware of your surroundings. Keep your doors locked even when you're home. If your gut tells you something is wrong, listen to it. Don't ever feel obligated to open your door to anyone you don't know or aren't expecting. Your safety is more important than being polite. And second, I really need some advice. I'm doing what I can, the cameras, the extra locks, but I still feel so vulnerable. For anyone who has been through something similar, or for anyone who knows a lot about home security, what else can I do? Are there other security devices I should consider? Should I file a police report even though he didn't technically break in? Would that even do anything? How do you get that sense of peace back? How do you stop looking over your shoulder in your own home? Any suggestions or shared experiences would be so incredibly helpful right now. I feel a bit lost and would really appreciate hearing from this community. Dealing with this alone is really tough, and I think talking about it and getting advice is the next step for me to start feeling safe again. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It really means a lot to be able to share this with you all. If you have any advice, please leave it in the comments below. And if you'd like to follow along on my journey to reclaiming my sense of security, please consider subscribing to the channel. Stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks again.